Hey guys, welcome back to your Everyday Athlete M30 workout. We have your M30 body weight and your M30 minimal options today. Today we have 2 7-minute AMRAPs. You do get a 2-minute rest in between those AMRAPs, so look forward to that. Starting with your M30 body weight, your first 7-minute AMRAP is going to be 20 single leg RDLs right into 20 sit-ups. Do as many rounds as possible in those 7 minutes. You're gonna have a 2-minute rest right into your second 7-minute AMRAP of 20 glute bridges followed by 20 alternating V-ups. Yeah. For your M30 minimal, if you have 1 dumbbell or 2 dumbbells, you can make this work. For this, you're going to have 10 double dumbbell snatch, but you're doing it from the hang. So you don't have to go all the way down, right into 20 sit-ups, as many rounds as possible as that, and then your 2-minute rest, right into your second 7-minute AMRAP of 10 dumbbell deadlifts and 20 alternating V-ups. So this is gonna be a big total body, shoulder, back, glutes, hamstrings, abs.
It's gonna hurt, but it'll be over in what is that, 16 minutes?
In a long 7 minutes, yeah. All right, so now that you know the workout, we're gonna get right into your warm-up, and we're going to have some overall warm-up exercises as well as some that are really specific to each of the movements, so your body is good and primed. So to start your warm-up, we're gonna do 2 rounds of 30 seconds of jumping jacks into 10 single leg glute bridges and 5 downward to upward dog transitions.
Yes. Do you want me to demo each?
Yeah, let's have Kelsey demo it. So your 30 seconds of jumping jacks, just in case you're new here. If you don't want to do any impact, you can just step here. That is always an option. Right into single glute bridges. So she is going to keep one heel in close to her glute, the grounded foot. The other one is out, and she's going to push through her heel on that front leg, really engaging her hamstring and her glute. Right into that. Yeah, on the other side. So remember, you are going to have 5 on each side, 10 total. Nice. And then 5 downward to upward dog transitions. So that downward dog, stretching out your hamstrings that you're going to really be using today, and into your upward dog, that's gonna stretch out your core, your posterior chain, everything that, if you're not well stretched and not well warmed up, could tend to like blow up and cause a lot of pain mid-workout. Yes. All right, so we have 2 rounds of that. First is 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1, jumping jacks.
A little synchro.
I know. Just start to elevate your heart rate. Here, warm up those shoulders. We've had so much shoulders lately. This feels good. 5 more seconds into your glute bridges. 3, 2, 1. All right, glute bridges. I will go facing the camera so we have different angles. Keeping that foot planted on the floor, really driving your hips up. When you're doing these, remember it's 5 each side. So we're gonna switch. When you're doing these, remember to try and keep your shoulder blades and shoulders on the ground when you're lifting your hips. That's gonna put all the work into your glutes and hamstrings. Right. And then down dog.
Here's some information.
Oh, thank you, Siri. To up dog transition. I'm very curious what her information's about.
How to do downward upward dog.
All right. Couple more. And your downward dog, really push into the floor. Feel that stretch in your shoulders.
I think
one more. Upward dog. All right, then we're going to come up, reposition our mics for everyone at home. And then we're going to go into 30 seconds of jumping jacks in 3, 2, 1, go. And I briefly mentioned this in the beginning. If you are coming back from an injury, or for our Mayhem moms out there, if you don't want impact, you can just tap, keeping that foot flat on the floor. Always an option. We have about 5 more seconds of these. All right, 10 single glute bridges. Our body weight, people are gonna see a lot of these today. For one more on this side. Switch legs, hips up. Really squeeze through your glute and hamstrings. 4, last one. 5, move over.
Feeling nice and warm.
And I don't know how it is where you all live, but we're finally into somewhat summer weather
Yes.
in Cookeville.
I like.
All right, 2 more, stretching out your chest and core. And right into your glutes and hamstrings, last one.
Sorry, could you say that again?
She's kind of slow today.
Siri really wants to do this M30.
I know. Maybe Siri is one of our
Online
watchers.
watchers.
That's right, Siri, if you're out there. Okay, so I'm gonna have Kelsey go through the movements for today's workouts. We're going to start with, we'll start with body weight. What those movements look like. So remember, 2 7-minute AMRAPs. Your first movement for M30 body weight is going to be a single leg RDL. So you're gonna come down, keeping that back straight, leading with your chest here. So you don't wanna round your back. Nice. And what that's going to do, that's gonna keep the tension in your hamstrings and in your glutes, getting your hips fully extended at the top. Okay, you have 10 on each leg for that, right into 20 sit-ups. You can use an ab mat, you can do it flat on the floor, whatever you prefer. All the way up. Remember to exhale on the way up and contracting those abs. Nice. Big stretch. There we go, 20 of those. After 7 minutes of a lot of work for that, you're going to have a 2-minute rest, and then you're gonna go into 20 glute bridges. Just like we had in the warm-up, but instead of single leg, you're gonna have both legs, pushing through your heels and really squeezing your glutes at the top. There you go. Keeping those shoulders and shoulder blades on the ground. Into your 20 alternating V-ups. So 1 leg up. There you go. If you wanna make this harder, you can keep your feet off the floor, both feet, and go here. If you wanna make it easier, instead of a straight leg, you can just bend your leg. There it is. All right, so that is our M30 body weight. Our minimal, on the other hand, this strong girl, she is going to do 10 double hang dumbbell snatch. So keeping your chest or your back flat when you pick up those weights. There you go. Making sure you get underneath the weight and then stand it up. There you go, 10 of each. With the 20 sit-ups that you already demoed in the first one, I'll let you take a breath. So that's gonna be your first 7-minute AMRAP, 10 single dumbbell snatch or double dumbbell snatch, 20 sit-ups, 2-minute rest into 10 double deadlift.
Yep.
Making sure both of the heads touch the floor. Slight bend in your knees, but not a full squat. So you still want to keep your glutes, hamstrings, that's where the work really is going to be focused. And then your 20 alternating V-ups like we showed you in the first body weight.
Yes.
So
the thing I would add real quick is you're gonna get core work, obviously, from the sit-ups and the V-ups. Excuse me. But also just make sure that you're still engaging your core as you start getting fatigued, because both of those movements are very, you don't call them a core movement, but you're using your core
very good point.
in both of those things. So as you get tired, really focus on that. But that will be where my mind is, in case you're wondering. So.
Great point. All right, are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be. Let's start the clock. If you have a clock at home, I would recommend starting it to a 16-minute clock. That way it's literally running and you get just the exact amount of rest you're supposed to get. Hey guys, we got 10 seconds on the clock. You're doing this with me.
3, 2, 1. Go. You probably know by now, but don't start out too hot. It's always going to catch you. So focus on the quality of the movement over the quantity to some extent. Back to those Rdls, dumbbell snatches. For these Rdls, remember, keep your chest proud and tall, back flat, so you're gonna lead with your chest. You should feel kind of a pull in your hamstring on the way down, but like the good kind of pull, you know? There's a good kind and the bad kind. Okay. You're moving through it. You're doing great. Remember, in AMRAP, it's as many reps around as possible. That doesn't mean you can't take a break. Utilize your breaking periods. Be strategic about it. Don't feel like you have to go straight from sit-ups and pick up the dumbbell immediately. Take some breaths, some rest, not an excessive amount, but take some rest to know that you're gonna be able to do half of the reps, half of the total reps you're gonna need in that round. 5 minutes left on the clock. Going into on these RDLs, you notice I kind of lost my balance right there, which is totally fine. But a way to help with that is find a spot on the floor and kind of lock your gaze there so you're not looking around as much. Like Kelsey said in the beginning, keep your core tight. And then keep that foot, try not to roll into the ball of your foot or onto your toes. Keep that flat on the ground. So think from top to bottom. Find a locking point with your eyes. Core is tight, hips are square, foot is flat on the ground. Final minute. Here's where you see, can you get through one more round in that minute? Seconds. There you go, Kelsey, working to the end. Nice work. Yeah, 5, 3, 2, 1. Put it down, girl.
Ow. Man, doesn't help that my core is already sore, so.
I was gonna say I felt that the most. That's the thing that added up. The core work, having to stay engaged the whole time, compounded on itself over those 7 minutes.
Okay, so if you're doing minimal, for me, it's a mind game of like numbers. So I have 10 I have to do each time. I know I need to break it up and do 2 sets of 5. So I count in my head to 5 each time. Just because I don't know, for me it's like if I count 5, set it down, and then I'm like 6, 7, 8. It's easier if I'm like back at the top, like only 5. So let's break it up early. I was able to stick with all like 2 sets of 5 each time. One time I did 6 on accident, and I was like, oh, I only got 4. So if you want to do 6 and 4, that's a good idea too.
Good way to do it.
But
were the sit-ups, did you feel like that was a recovery?
Yeah, in a sense, it was a time to catch my breath. I could feel and hear myself like breathing heavier than I should have been. So as crazy as it sounds, rest in the sit-up as much as you can, because this is a very explosive movement and you're not getting too much rest unless you break them up like I recommend. So yeah.
I'm looking forward to the deadlifts though, for sure. You think?
I'm hoping. Those alternating V-ups are what I'm a little nervous about. Those will get you.
All right, we have 15 seconds of rest to go. Kelsey's gonna have her double dumbbell deadlifts right into the alternating V-ups. Body weight, folks, you are with me for double glute bridges. So on the ground, right into alternating V-ups. And here we go. For the glute bridges, just tap your glutes at the bottom Don't come all the way down. So you just want to kind of tap, squeeze at the top, kind of tap. That's going to keep your hamstrings under tension the whole time.
Less than a minute per round.
If you have a dumbbell or band at home for these glute bridges, you can set the dumbbell on your hips to add a little bit of resistance. If you have a band, you can put it across your hips, anchoring it on either side. That also is going to give you some resistance as an option.
Do anything for 5 minutes.
That's right.
Watch this stuff.
You may start to feel your back, feel some inflammation. As we say, kind of your back is blowing up on those deadlifts. If that's the case, you can drop to one dumbbell, or you can go into RDL with your dumbbell to give a little reprieve. But stay with those single dumbbells as long as possible. You got it. We have just under 2.5 minutes left. And we've been keeping around 2 minutes per round, a little less actually. We should be able to get one more round in. Let's see if we can do it. Notice Kelsey is opening up her hip to the top. So she's getting that full extension. Squeezing your glutes to the top, not leaving out any muscle group. I mean, if you're here doing it, you might as well get the results for it. "45 seconds, Kel. 45 seconds, everybody at home." Final 20. If you can pick it up, now's the time. In 5, 3, 2, 1, time.
Wow. Never underestimate 2 dumbbells on the floor. Holy cow.
How is that compared?
Well, my heart rate was a lot higher because I was literally like doing at first 50-second rounds. For me, I knew I didn't need to set the dumbbell down, but like Jen said, if your back is blowing up, ideally you'd set the dumbbell down 2 sets of 5. Honestly, I had to take a break on those alternating V-ups. Those were challenging. I'm really glad those weren't paired with the dumbbell snatch because I probably would have gotten 2 rounds total. So overall good. Like I said, if you're doing this at home, be prepared for like your core to go, especially in that second AMRAP. If you have to modify the way that Jen has talked about, bending the knee for those alternating V-ups. I know that Caroline also posts some Mayhem mom mods that are just as effective. So look at those if you need to modify. You still get a great workout.
Absolutely.
So.
And 35s were good.
I don't know the word
Tough,
good.
good.
That's like saying that it was fun. It kind of happened, and I'm glad I did it. So.
I understand that. Okay, so now we're gonna move right into our cool down, much deserved, for sure. We're gonna have 1 minute on each stretch. And if they're either side, then it's 1 minute on each side. We're just doing this one time through. There is some accessory work that you can move into that's a little more controlled if you want that strength training. We just have time to do one or the other, so we're gonna go cool down. So the first thing, you're gonna have your hamstring stretch. So lay down on your back, bring one knee in, grab either behind your calf or behind your hamstring. Don't grab behind your knee. So if you're less flexible, you grab behind your hamstring. A little more flexible, want a deeper stretch, grab behind your calf.
And you want to pull those toes down towards you. You feel much bigger stretch. Sorry, we don't have the clock going.
Set my timer. We'll say about 15 more seconds here, and then we'll be right back on the minute.
If your legs are as sweaty as mine, this is hard to hold on to. Also, kudos to you people who regularly work out in your garage gym.
Especially in May.
Yes.
All right, switch sides. I have to grab behind my hamstring on this one. Keep your leg as straight as possible. Like Kelsey said, pull those toes back toward you. Keeping your hips and your shoulders on the ground. Yeah, the garage warriors are...
There's something else.
You guys are another level. About 15 more seconds. once this 15 seconds is up, we are going to move into a 1-minute pancake, which sounds delicious. All right, come on up. Your pancake, you're just gonna come into a straddle as much as you can, keeping both those hips on the ground, and then just slowly walk your hands out.
Jen and I agreed that we look a little more like a biscuit than a
Yeah,
pancake.
this is more of a biscuit. You know, got the rounded back.
Let us know if you can actually do this pancake stretch like you should. I'm sure Bennett can. I'm sure Bennett can lay his tummy on the ground.
And within that minute, try and walk your hands out a little bit more. If you want to rest on your elbows, you can do that. Something that, a good cue that I was taught a long time ago, and I still remember it to this day, so it must be good, right? When you're in stretches like this, we tend to tense up if it's something we're not used to. So keep your shoulders down, and that's gonna help relax your breathing. That's gonna help you get into the stretch a little bit more. All right, about 5 more seconds. We're gonna go into a child's pose. All right, bring those legs in, switch it around. We all love this one. Who doesn't?
Take a nap break.
I know. Knees just under, right outside your hips, arms extended, and then push your hips back. So this probably feels really good on your back. Yes, after all that bending. For sure. Not that a minute is a long time, but if you want to, you can take one arm, stretch it across, kind of lean into it. If your shoulders are fatigued, you can really focus on one shoulder here, and then we just switch sides. So reach across on that arm, and then sit back. Feel it in your shoulder and your triceps a lot. Probably in your lats too.
Yeah.
About 5 more seconds. All right, come up. The last one is your seal stretch. We were having a conversation about this before. The difference between swan, seal, up dog.
Yeah.
So swan is you're gonna be, your tummy is totally on the ground and your hands are just on your shoulders. Seal, your arms are extended, but your quads and your hips are still on the ground. And then up dog, like we did, is when everything's extended off the ground. So for this, we're gonna be in a seal stretch, stretching out that abdominal wall.
Sorry, I'm still not sure about that.
She hadn't been sure this whole time.
I'm not sure either.
This whole time.
That breeze feels nice.
Doesn't it? Are you starting to cool down some?
A
A little? Give it 10 more seconds. And that will be it for the day. Remember, we still have the Whoop Sleep Mania
Yes.
going on. All you have to do to participate, if you have a Whoop, you're already step 1 in. If you're a part of the Mayhem Athlete community, you're already 2 steps in. All you have to do is sleep. So for the month of May, we're competing with the Buttery Bros, Morning Chalk Up, and Talking Elite Fitness.
Yes.
Tracking our sleep, making that something more important than our strain. If we want a higher strain, you gotta have a good recovery for consistency.
I'm a sleep gal, so.
Yeah, same. So that is the sleep challenge. To join, if you have a Whoop, how about we start at step 1? If you don't have a Whoop,
Yes.
code Mayhem on whoop.com will get you 15% off.
Yes.
If you do have a Whoop but are not part of the Mayhem Athlete community, COMM, C-O-M-M, -Mayhem,
All capitals.
all capitals. It'll be in the bio. It'll be in the notes below, so be sure to look for that. But that is how you can join the athlete community.
Yes.
Step 3, sleep.
Sleep well, and not just, you know, your 5 hours of sleep you get, Ben. So yeah, so join us.
We have lots of prizes if Mayhem's a top winner, and we'll have some sleeping tips and hacks from all your favorite people coming next week.
Yeah. Thanks
All
for
right.
joining us.
Thanks. Bye, guys.